Hello, it's Rebecca from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Skechers GOwalk 4s. At Pack Hacker, we're a team of frequent travellers who share our thoughts on bags and travel gear all the time. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now let's get on to the Skechers GOwalk 4 review. When you think about the world's most fashionable brands, let's be honest, Skechers probably won't be at the top of your list. This footwear company has always put performance and comfort over cutting-edge fashion. However, this has worked out pretty well for them as they've become a global juggernaut with over 2,500 stores in 160 countries. Skechers is slowly but surely paving its way to youthful and modern popularity with celebrity campaigns and innovative designs. And with fashion stores like Urban Outfitters now supplying their shoes, it's safe to say that Skechers are finally on trend. So, a global brand renowned for their comfort and performance, getting their toes wet in the fashion world, we were excited to test these things out. We have also previously tested the GOwalk 3s for over a year through 17 countries, different climates, different terrains, so we think that we know the GOwalk series pretty well too. Now, before we get on to how good these things look, we need to talk about the different types of GOwalk 4s, and unfortunately, it does get a bit complicated. Skechers' naming structure and website does get confusing at times because there's not just one style of GOwalk 4s, there is actually 9. Thankfully, other than one of the versions being laced, they're all minor aesthetic differences, so you're free to choose whatever pair you like the look of most. We went with the Propel version. The GOwalk 4s are available in different colours, but we think that black is the safest option. It goes with most outfits and it shows up the least dirt and stains, making it ideal for travel. We really like the sleek and minimalist style of the GOwalk 4s, and because they're so neutral, we found you can pull them off in plenty of different environments. Whether you're feeling like a fashionista around the streets of Paris or power walking through the countryside, these shoes are going to fit right in with your style. Due to their streamlined look, we found that these shoes go well with pants, skirts, dresses, which is perfect for travel because anytime you can find one pair of shoes that goes with anything, you're onto a winner. Skechers has given the GOwalk 4s some pretty discreet branding. The small subtle S on the side is perfect for those of you who aren't Skechers converts just yet. The branding complements the sleek and simple design and doesn't overpower what the shoe is actually made for, and that's comfort and performance. We're big fans of the slip-on style of these shoes, great for when your life is on the go, for going in and out of houses, for slipping off on the airport security, or even when you're in Southeast Asia and you're going into one of the Buddhist temples. When it comes to slip-on footwear, there's always that worry that your feet might slip out because there are no laces to hold it in place, but that was never the case with these, and as long as you get the right size, it will never be the case for you either. Per shoe, these things come in at a remarkably lightweight 5.25 ounces for a size 7. They can also be packed flat because of the soft mesh on top, which saves so much space inside your bag. It's hard to know where to begin here because Skechers have put some crazy tech into these shoes. Now, the jargon on the website is a bit too much for our liking, but it all comes together to create one of the most comfortable shoes we have ever tested. Now, we just can't oversell enough on how incredibly comfortable these shoes are. During testing, we covered about 60 kilometers in 3 days with the all black Propel versions and never encountered even a hint of discomfort. So why are these shoes just so comfortable? Let's take a second to cut through the jargon and see what's actually going on here. Now, starting with the soles, they feature innovative and highly responsive 5-gen midsole cushioning that is designed to provide a high energy return on every step. This means that the shoes are easy to walk in with minimal effort and impact on your feet, and we can 100% vouch for that. Next up are the Goga pillars that at first glance look pretty weird. They're the pillars on the bottom of the shoe to cushion any hard impacts, and from what we can tell, they do the job very well. Moving inside the shoe, you'll find the new Skechers Goga Max insole for next generation cushioning and support. This is effectively memory foam for your feet, and if you've ever wondered what it would be like to walk on memory foam, we will give you a hint. It's amazing. There is no fancy name for this next bit of tech, but it's impressive nonetheless. The mesh around your foot naturally expands as you walk. With these shoes, we never experience any rubbing or friction, which means this mesh is doing exactly what it should be doing. This mesh is not only a comfortable fit, but it's also very breathable, keeping your feet cool even in warmer climates. But regardless of how breathable your shoe is, feet still sweat. Fortunately, Skechers have provided some fancy tech to keep your feet smelling fresh. This tech is a bamboo-lined footbed for antibacterial odour control. This keeps your shoes smelling fresh due to an antimicrobial bioagent called bambucin, which is found naturally in bamboo fibres. Honestly, even after walking all day, every day, these shoes never smelled. We really love this because there are few things worse than putting smelly shoes into your backpack. As we previously mentioned, we've been testing the GOwalk 4s for a few months now, but we have also tested the GOwalk 3s for over a year, so we feel like we know both pretty well. For the most part, these shoes are pretty similar, but there are differences too, all of which we think improve the shoe. The main difference between these versions is that the GOwalk 3s are much wider than the GOwalk 4s, and this is due to the redesigned Go-Go pillars on the bottom. This allows a more streamlined design without compromising comfort. The narrower style is definitely more modern and fashionable. Another difference between these two is that the GOwalk 4 has the new Goga Max insoles. Now the GOwalk 3 was still incredibly comfortable, but somehow the GOwalk 4s were even better. We also found that the GOwalk 4s tend to smell a lot less than the previous iteration. Now that must mean that the bamboo liner is doing the trick. One significant improvement over the GOwalk 3s is that the GOwalk 4s repel water better. Now, we're not saying they're waterproof, in fact they're a far cry from it, but it does mean that they are more water resistant. When wearing the GOwalk 3s, they just soaked up all the water and got soggy, but so far through testing, these have repelled the water quite well. The next thing to note is that the GOwalk 4s have held their shape better than the GOwalk 3s. Now this could be due to the mesh or the fact that we've been testing the GOwalk 3s for a lot longer, but if we're honest, we think it could be a combination of both things. However, we do think that the GOwalk 4s will last better over time. In our opinion, we think that all the changes that have been made to the Skechers GOwalk 4 have been an improvement. However, this may not be the case for everyone, looking at one of the comments we saw on the Skechers website, saying how much they preferred the wider foot on the GOwalk 3s. This just goes to show that different styles suit different people. Skechers has took note, however, and responded by bringing out the GOwalk Joy, a similar shoe to the GOwalk 4 but with a wider foot. Plus, the Propel and Gifted versions of the GOwalk 4s now come in a wide version too. After 2 months of testing, the GOwalk 4s have held up very well, which is not surprising after how well the GOwalk 3s held up too. We did notice some discoloration on the GOwalk 3s on the white soles, which is why when we picked the version of GOwalk 4s, we picked an all black sole. Now this black sole will keep your shoes looking fresh and clean when you're on the road. If you find that you need to wash your shoes, Skechers recommend that you just use a damp cloth to wipe them over. This works very well. However, with the GOwalk 3s, when we're on the road, these did get very stinky. So we put them in the washing machine on a cool, gentle cycle and they came out fine. But we haven't yet had to do them with this GOwalk 4 version. We may have mentioned this a few times before, but these shoes are incredibly comfortable and made out of lightweight materials. This is great, but it lacks protection. So if you were to drop something heavy on your foot or someone was to stand on your foot, hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, it is going to hurt. Another nitpick, and this is a small one, but when you're walking on gravel or loose stones, they get stuck between the pillars of the shoes. Now, this doesn't cause any discomfort, but it is annoying, but you can remove it easily. All in all though, these are a great pair of travel shoes. They're super comfortable, they'll go with everything, and they can even be packed flat. If you're in the market for a pair of shoes to accompany your travels around the world, the Skechers GOwalk 4s would make for a fantastic choice. Now let's move on to the pros. The Skechers GOwalk 4s are extremely comfortable. The aesthetic works with most clothes and environments, and they're super lightweight and packable, making them great for travel. Now onto some cons. The Skechers GOwalk 4s don't offer any protection. The product list on the Skechers website is a bit confusing. And finally, small stones can get stuck in the sole of these shoes, which can be a bit annoying. After some extensive testing with the GOwalk 3s and our recent experiences with the GOwalk 4s, we cannot recommend these shoes enough. The GOwalk 4 is an incredibly comfortable shoe that won't let you down, even if you walk all day, every day. It is clear that Skechers is slowly brushing off that unsavoury stigma by making some great shoes that not only feel good but look good too. Thanks for taking a look at our review of the Skechers GOwalk 4s, and make sure you head over to packhacker.com/newsletter, sign up to our newsletter and never miss an update. Thanks for checking this one out. We'll see you in the next video.